Hey, how's it going, guys? I know today you guys did not have school, but either way, you still have to get the lecture. So let's go ahead and begin. Today, you're going to be solving linear inequalities. Now, let's go ahead and begin. You guys have actually done problems like this before, so let me show you an example. We have x plus 3, and it equals the 4. First thing you're going to say is, Mister, we're going to solve for x. How do you get rid of a plus 3? Easy. You do minus 3. Cancel, and then x equals 4 minus 3, that is 1. Now, for linear inequalities, you're going to have this x, actually, let me erase that, and it should be x plus 3 is less than 4. The only thing that changes is the equal sign became an inequality, but it's the same process. You want to have x by itself, so you have to get rid of a plus 3. So you do the opposite, which is minus 3. Let's go ahead and do that. This cancels, and then you have x is less than 4, and that is your answer. Now, of course, you're going to say, Mister, that's real easy. What's the difference? There's some certain rules that you're going to have to apply to it, and once we get there, I'm going to let you guys know. So let's go ahead and do another example. Let's do this one. Negative 3x minus 1 is less than 8. So of course, this is now a two-step. Your goal is to solve for x. So first thing is getting rid of a minus 1, right? Because this has the x. So how do you get rid of a minus 1? You add 1, add 1. This cancels. This turns into negative 3x is less than 8 plus 1. That is 9. Now, you're one step away. The negative 3 is being multiplied to the x. So to get rid of it, you have to divide. So divide by negative 3, and here we go. This cancels. X, and here's one of the rules. Whenever you divide by a negative number, the inequality flips. So instead of being less than, it is now greater than. 9 divided by negative 3 is negative 3. And this is your answer. Now, of course, we're going to run more examples, so don't stress too much about it. But let's go ahead and do a couple more, all right? So let's see. Let's try another basic one. Here we go. We are now going to have, let me erase this next problem, which is negative 5x is greater than 10. So let's go ahead and begin. First thing, you're going to divide by negative 5, right? Cancels. First thing it says, Mister, you divided by a negative number. The inequality flips, and that is correct. So this is x, and what is opposite of greater than? That is less than. 10 divided by negative 5, a positive divided by a negative is a negative. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Finished. Now, at this point, you're going to say, Mister, all these questions are getting so easy. Is there any other forms you're going to ask us? Yes, they are. So let's go ahead and do another example. Here we go. Let me erase, and let me get my pencil. And here we go. We now have the following inequality. We have 1 is less than 2x minus 1, which is less than 3. Now, notice it's in between both. So whenever you're going to do the opposites, it goes to each one. So your goal is to solve for x. So we need to get rid of a minus 1. The way you get rid of a minus 1 is opposite. So you add 1. Add 1 goes to each one. This cancels, and then we simplify. 3 plus 1, that is 4. You bring down the less than. You got rid of this, so now you're left with 2x. And then you're left with 1 plus 1, that is 2. Now, if you notice, you're almost done. Your goal is to get rid of this 2. By this point, you know that you're going to have to divide because that's the opposite of multiplication, right? So you divide by 2 on each side. This cancels. This 2 divided by 2, that is 1. Then you bring down the less than. You bring down the x. And then you bring down the less than again. 4 divided by 2, that is 2. And complete. It does not get as difficult as this, guys. It does not get as difficult. Let's go ahead and do two more examples, and that will cover pretty much everything you guys had to learn for the day. So let's go ahead and continue. We're gonna do another one similar to this. So here we go. Next problem. We now have 1 minus x minus 6. And if I said minus, that's less than. My apologies. Less than 2. So your goal is to have x by itself. How do you get rid of a minus 6? The opposite is add 6. So you're going to add 6 to each of the sides. This cancels. You're now left with 1 plus 6 is 7. You bring down the less than. The x is now by itself. And then you bring the less than again. 2 plus 6, that is 8. Once again, finished. It's just the opposites. The only thing that's different, once again, guys, is just the inequalities. If it trips you out, just imagine it as an equal sign. And that still gets you straight to the point, right? Now, the most difficult one you're going to have, which is not even difficult, it's still the same thing, everything you've been doing whenever we used to solve for x, right? Here we go. Here's the next form they're going to ask you. And this is the last example. So here we go. You have negative 4x plus 10 is greater than or equal to 5x plus 55. Now, once again, your goal is to get all the x's together and all the integers together, right? So how do you move a positive 5x? I'm going to move it to the left side. The opposite of a positive 5x is a negative 5x, or subtract 5x, right? One side due to the other. This cancels. You are now left with, whenever you subtract a negative number, add the numbers, keep the sign. So this is negative 9x. You bring down the plus 10. You bring down the inequality, which is greater than or equal to, and the 55. So you have your x's together. Now we need to get our numbers together. So I got to move the plus 10 to the other side. Opposite of plus 10, minus 10. So here we go. This cancels. You are now left with negative 9x greater than or equal to 55 minus 10. That is 45. And then almost there, last step. You have the negative 9 and it's being multiplied to the x. Opposite of multiplication is division. This cancels x, and notice, guys, you divided by a negative. You divided by a negative. The inequality flips. The opposite of greater than or equal to is less than or equal to. 45 divided by negative 9, a positive divided by a negative is a negative. 45 divided by 9 is 5. And that completes the example. With that being said, guys, you do have a hub assignment. I believe it is a total of 5 questions. You have 2 attempts. It should be active as soon as this video is presented to you guys, so make sure you complete it, and we will see you guys again on Friday. Have a good rest of the day, guys.